My husband stormed into the living room, visibly annoyed as he looked around at everything. It wasn't until he saw me that his expression changed. I was just about to leave to meet my old flame, blank. My husband glared at me and said, "I'm really angry right now." He approached me, pushed my head down, and unzipped his pants, revealing something enormous that slithered into my mouth like a black python. He thrust back and forth, using my mouth to quench his anger, treating me as nothing more than a tool. At that moment, my phone rang. With my mouth occupied, I answered the call. Heavens, it was blank. I mustn't let him know what I was doing. My speech was garbled due to what was in my mouth, so I quickly hung up the phone. My husband noticed something was amiss, and, holding my head, he began to move faster. In the end, everything was left in my mouth. My husband pulled up his pants and left without looking back. Resentment boiled in me as I watched my mate, Alpha Liam Hunter, drive away. He was supposed to take me to the PAC clinic for my regular pregnancy checkup, but a call from Mira about an emergency had led him to abandon me, his 3-month pregnant mate. Mira Reed, his old flame, had called him sobbing about needing him and that it was an emergency, and without any hesitation, Liam had yelled at me frantically to get out of the car and had driven off to her place, without thinking of the welfare of his pregnant mate. My wolf whimpered at the pain of being abandoned by her mate for another woman. Fortunately, one of the PAC members on his way to the PAC clinic had dropped me at the PAC clinic. After the checkup, I called Liam so he could come pick me, but he never picked my calls. I tried contacting him through our mate link, but it was blocked. I scoffed in contempt. If it were Mira, he would have responded immediately. Bitterness settled into my chest, and it stayed there even till I got back home. I went straight to bed, without waiting for him like I normally do. A noise from the house woke me, indicating that Liam was back. I didn't move from where I lay on the bed, as I watched him entering the room with a disgruntled expression on his face, probably because I hadn't gone to welcome him at the door as usual. "What? No hello?" he grumbled with a scowl. "Hello," I said tonelessly, still lying on the bed. His eyebrows furrowed in confusion. "What's with you?" he asked, looking annoyed. I slowly sat up on the bed, lifting an eyebrow at him with a cold expression on my face. I watched as realization crossed his face. "Is it because I went to help Mira? She fell down the stairs." "Jazz, don't be so heartless. I had to go help her," he explained with annoyance on his face. I snapped. "That was why you kicked me out of your car and abandoned me. I am your mate, and I am pregnant with your child." "Your child? Does that even mean anything to you? You didn't even bother to check up on me, to know if I got back safe? You blocked our mate link, and refused to pick my calls." He opened his mouth to say something, but I cut him off. "You say she fell down the stairs and needed your help, like she's some fragile human, not a freaking werewolf that can heal in a couple of minutes. What kind of help does she need from you?" I yelled, tears welling up in my eyes. Liam frowned in annoyance. "Why are you being unreasonable, Jazz? You know she has no one else after her mate was killed by rogues. I'm just trying to be there for her." I clenched my jaw as I struggled not to cry. "Every night, you come back with her scent all over you, and you keep telling me that you were just helping her. What about me? You're no longer here for me," I exclaimed. Since Mira came back to his life, Liam had changed. He was no longer the caring and doting mate who was crazy about me. He was no longer the Liam who neglected his duties as the alpha of the pack just to make sure that I was 100% comfortable. Now, he was the Liam who would abandon everything, including me, just to be with Mira. Mira had moved back to America from London after her mate was killed by rogues, and she wanted to start afresh in a new pack, so she got in contact with Liam, and he had eagerly welcomed her into his pack. His eyes softened as he saw the tears in my eyes. He released a sigh and sat down at the edge of the bed and wrapped me in a warm embrace. He pressed a soft kiss on my head. "I'm sorry, Jazz. Please don't cry," he pleaded. He placed a soft kiss on my lips. At first, it seemed like an innocent kiss, but when he deepened it, and his hand slipped under my shirt, I shoved him off angrily. "What the hell are you doing?" I demanded. "What? It has been long since we had sex, and I've missed you," he murmured, leaning towards me again. I pushed him away again. "Really? I'm pregnant, Liam. How can you be thinking of having sex? You know that the healer said it was dangerous." He rolled his eyes in frustration. "Whatever," he stood up with a scowl. Frustration, whatever, he stood up with a scowl on his face. However, immediately his phone beeped with a message. I watched as his eyes brightened, and I knew it was from Mira. He grinned and hurried into the shower, with a happy smile on his face. Curiosity gnawed at me as I wondered what she must have sent to have caused him to be so happy. I picked up his phone to check. He had changed his phone's password from my birthday to Myra's birthday. He didn't know that I had noticed. As I opened his phone, my heart dropped. Jasmine's POV Mira was asking him to come over so she could prepare a thank you meal for him, in thanks for helping her when she fell down the stairs. I scoffed in disdain. I couldn't help scrolling through their message history. It was like reading the messages between two lovers. Liam sounded so sweet in these messages, nothing like the distant and negligent person that I was constantly putting up with. I froze as I stared at a particular message that Liam had sent to Mira. "I wished we never broke up, then we would still be together, because I know we're fated for each other, mates or not." I didn't bother to read Myra's message as an empty feeling settled in my heart. I kept staring at his message and I couldn't help as I laughed bitterly and hysterically. "What is so funny?" Liam asked, walking into the room with an annoyed look on his face. Then his eyes darkened in rage as he saw me with his phone. He stormed towards me and snatched out his phone with a venomous glare at me. "Why the hell are you going through my phone?" he growled, holding me by shoulder and shaking me roughly. I stared at him with a bitter smile. "You wished you never broke up with Mira, huh? The two of you are fated for each other, right?" I retorted. Liam clenched his jaw in anger, glaring at me. "Oh, please don't make a big deal out of nothing. I was just trying to comfort her, nothing else. I scoffed, nothing else, of course. You must think I'm a fool, Liam, but you are the fool, he growled in displeasure. Watch your tongue, Jasmine. I am your alpha. And I am your Luna. I will not be treated like nothing, Liam, I said firmly. Just as he was about to respond, his phone rang. Immediately he saw the caller ID. His expression brightened. It must be Mira. He picked it without any delay, with a grin on his face. Hey Liam, Mira murmured. Did you see my message? You didn't reply. Are you coming? Yeah, I saw it. Of course I'm coming. He replied eagerly. I'll be there in a few minutes. Don't worry. My heart clenched at how happy he sounded. He finished preparing, and was about to leave. I shook my head sadly. You just got back, Liam, and now you're going back, I said. He rolled his eyes. She invited me for dinner. It will be rude of me to decline. Come on, Liam. Are you really going to abandon me here tonight to go eat dinner with Mira? He released an exasperated sigh. Stop making a big deal out of it. I'll be back tomorrow. He turned to leave. I had exhausted all my patience. I clutched the bed sheets tightly, and gritted my teeth. Liam, I growled, if you step out that door, I'll reject you as mate, and I'll raise this child on my own. Liam paused and turned to me with a lifted eyebrow. However, when he saw that I was totally serious, his expression softened. Come on, Jazz, Mira needs me. She doesn't have anyone else here except me. I'm just trying to help to be a good companion. Tears welled up in my eyes. He just didn't understand what I was trying to say. Liam, you're choosing to help her at the expense of your own family. I interrupted. My voice shook, as I struggled not to cry. You're my mate, the father of our child. You're supposed to be here for us. Come on, Jazz. You're my mate and my Luna. Is that not enough for you? He snapped in frustration. Jasmine's POV. I stared at him in disbelief, and tears ran down my face. He sounded like I was a barrier that was stopping him from being with who he truly loved. Then reject me and go be with who you truly want. Let me not be a hindrance, I replied with a shaky voice. His expression softened, and he walked closer to me and embraced me in a warm hug, consoling me till I stopped crying. No, I didn't mean it like that. I'm sorry, my love. I shouldn't have switched off my phone or blocked the mate link. I was wrong. Please forgive me, he pleaded. This was the Liam that I knew and fell in love with, but bitterness settled in my chest because I knew this was only temporary. His phone beeped again, and I knew that Mira had sent him another message. I could feel him tense as he held me. Then he released me from the hug and quickly unlocked his phone. He glanced up at me with a sigh. Jazz, I really have to go. We'll talk later. If you need anything, just call me. I watched as he hurried away without waiting for my response. Even though I was his mate, Mira had a higher priority than me. They had fallen in love some years ago, but when Mira found her mate, she broke things up with him, and moved to her mate's pack in London. I couldn't sleep, as several thoughts roamed my mind. I couldn't keep doing this to myself. It was obvious that Liam prioritized Mira over me. I had to move on with my life, and give the baby the best care it deserved. My eyes flew open as intense pain flooded through me. I gasped as a sharp, stabbing sensation shot through my stomach. Liam, something is wrong with the baby. I cried out frantically, my voice breaking. Silence answered. I turned my gaze to where my mate, Liam Hunter, should have been, lying beside me on the bed, only to find the space empty. He wasn't back from Myra's place. Panic surged through me as I finally realized what was going on. Liam was cheating on me. I had refused to allow him to have sex with me because I was pregnant, and he decided to go sleep with another woman instead. The pain intensified, and I gasped out in agony, gripping the sheets as the stabbing sensation increased. Arg, I sobbed. Internally, my wolf whimpered at the pain of her mate cheating on her. My heart pounded in my chest as I quickly opened our mate link, panting heavily as the pain got worse. I needed to warn him that what he was doing was hurting our child. Liam, our baby. I yelled through our mate link, but there was no response. Liam had blocked the link again. With great difficulty, I rolled out of bed, panting as the agony burned through my stomach. My body trembled, and my legs collapsed under me, making me drag myself on the ground towards the table where my phone was, so that I could call Liam. I called several times, but he didn't pick up. Then he switched off the phone. I gasped as I began to feel something trickle down my legs. It was blood. My heart skipped a beat. No, this couldn't be happening, I thought in horror. I could feel unconsciousness creeping in, and my head spun. I shook my head as I struggled to stay awake. I didn't have long. I had to hurry. Beta Richard, I yelled desperately through the pack link. Bring your car now. It's an emergency. Hurry. I don't have much time. Yes, Luna Jasmine, he replied with urgency in his voice. Before I could respond, the darkness pulled me away, and I slipped into unconsciousness. If I lose this child, I'll reject Liam as mate. I swore bitterly to myself, just before the darkness claimed me fully.
Search 271032 on Novel Short to read whole book.